Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores tight. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blessed.
To this day,
TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like porch lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Blast.
TV.
Yes. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. You already know what it is. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. And that song that you just heard that we opened up to, that right there is none other than Theta Waves featuring the twin pillars, Red and Blue Pillar. You already know what it is. Yes. And this show right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Saturday Night Live, Knicks and 4. Yeah, Knicks and 4, baby. Let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, that part. Yeah, we're going to turn up on here. Yeah, shout out to everybody in the building tonight. Yeah, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Let's go ahead and do the roll call. You know, let's get it in. Let's tap in. We ain't gonna waste no time. Connecticut in the building. Shout out to Connecticut. All of my predicates in Connecticut. Yo, peace, Connecticut. Yo, peace, Connecticut. Yo, what up, though? Time is running out. Politic, ditto. Incarcerated, Scarface. Maryland is in it. We got Kenya up in this thing. Santa Barbara, Khalifa, Wilmington, Philly. We got Dallas, Maryland, Brooklyn, Zoo, Charleston up in this thing. Greensboro, what's we talk? East Flatbush, and Modesto, Iowa, Osceola, San Jose, the Banks, Alaska. Okay, Greenville, Norfolk, Gastonia, Indianapolis, Ohio. We have Portland. We have the MIA. We got H-Town. Let's go. Greenville. Let's go. Duval. Let's go. Ireland. What are we talking about? Fort Knox. Let's effing go. West Side, Chicago, Jacksonville up in this. Florida. Town Business. LT Aliens. We got Lafayette up in this thing. Yeah, we deep up in this biatch on a good Saturday. Yeah, let's cook. We up in here. It's undeniable. We rushing the gates. Knicks and 4. What we talking about? Yes, that part. Yeah, New York is back. Yeah. City of the year. What we talking about? You want to start out with that? Or you want to warm up and get to that? Or you want me to get right in my bag? You let me know. The bag is from Canal Street, by the way. I'm going to get right into it. You want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. City of the year. Yeah, it's not just a Knicks thing. There's something going on outside. That part. The neighborhood Knicks. 305, Baltimore. Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton, New Jersey. We'll warm it up. We'll warm it up and then we'll get to it. We'll warm it up and we'll get to it. Knicks for the chip. I don't think the people understand what this is. They like, fam, it's just a football. It's just a basketball game. We trying to talk about FIFA. FIFA who, nigga? What are we talking about? FIFA who? Nobody talking about FIFA where I'm at. You know what I'm talking about? They talking about nobody talking about FIFA where I'm at. They talking about Reefer where I'm at. They talking about the Knicks, Poppy. You know what I'm talking about? They talking about the Knicks, Poppy. Yeah, fuck we mean. No disrespect to the soccer players, but nigga, what? FIFA, yeah, they talking more FIFA for fun. They not talking about no FIFA, my genius. You know, y'all might have to take that back across the pond. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all might have to take that back across the pond. No disrespect to my people in the chat from Ireland. I think we had Kenya in the building and whatnot, but yeah, y'all host them. Yeah, we want to do concerts. They got Jay-Z at Yankee Stadium and the Knicks. That's what New York is talking about. We not talking about FIFA cups, nigga. It's an inconvenient on traffic. That's the only thing they talking about. The water boys are gonna be selling water for $20. That's about it. That's the only niggas coming up is the water boys selling water for $20. I don't play soccer. Me no speaking no English, nigga. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What? Basketball, my niggas. It's basketball. That's the Negro pastime. You know what I'm talking about? That's the FBA Moorish time. That's our pastime. Basketball. Not football. Not baseball. Not tennis, my genius. And damn sure not no soccer. Niggas is out here dribbling balls. Pause. New York Knicks is the most lit team in New York when you think about it. The Yankees, they got their little thing and everything. Yeah, they got a history. Yeah. Yankees. All right, the New York Mets. Yeah. The New York Giants who play in New Jersey. Okay. But I don't think that there's any other team that unites the city. I don't think that there's any other team that's bringing the energy. I don't think that there's any other team that's synonymous with New York outside of that Yankee cap than the orange and the blue, y'all. I think the Knicks is the proverbial New York team. They are the quintessential New York team, the Knickerbockers. Okay? The Knickerbockers, the New York Knickerbockers. I don't know about, everybody is not into the baseball and shit like that. It's the New York Knickerbockers. So they rallying up the city in ways that we haven't seen before. But the interesting part about this whole thing, what gets me excited, enthusiastic, and real jipper and whatnot, is the fact that the last time that the NBA Finals was won by New York City, guess what? Hip hop was born that year. That was a pivotal year, 1973, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of people wasn't around to see what was going on and whatnot. A lot of people wasn't even alive for those days and those times and whatnot in that era and whatnot. But let me tell you, that was a very pivotal time, an extremely pivotal era, an extremely pivotal year. Okay, there were a lot of things that have taken place and whatnot. As we know, as above, so below, and time is centrifugal, right? Things are moving in cycles. So it is indicative upon us to go and find out what were the top movies and what were the top songs and what's going on with the 1973 energy, right? Because at the end of the day, when we look at it, right, the way that we look at it as a bookmark, right? We look at it as a bookmark. It's a bookmark, right? It's a bookmark. It closes out something. Okay? It closes out something. What does it close out? Well, it closes out the 53 years of hip hop. If you were to ask me, if the 53 years of if hip hop is 53 years old this year, right? There's a 53-year cycle that must be examined and whatnot, because if the Knicks wind up winning the chip, it closes a cycle. And then you study everything within that cycle and whatnot. Coincidentally, and not surprisingly, the same year, 2026, one of the quote unquote fathers of the genre, there's two of them, he dies, right? Africa Bambaataa, he he transitions in 2026, which is the 53rd year of hip hop. Okay, that was born in 1973, and just so happened in New York the same year that they won the chip, the same year of the wow signal. If my research serves me correct, the same year as the wow signal, right? Right? Let's see. Wow signal. A very interesting year. The wow signal is 1977, right? The wow signal is 1977. Okay. Which happens to coincide and it's in alignment, right, with the blackout in New York City, what they call the Night of Terror. Okay. So the Night of Terror, which is July the 13th and the 14th and whatnot, that happens in New York City. And that's right around the time of this quote unquote signal that came in from outer space, August 15th, 1977. Hip hop is born August 13th, 1973. Okay. So the same year that they put SETI out there, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, 1973, is also the same year that they pick up the signal of hip hop and this new thing, hip hop is born. 1975, me and Blue Pill is born. You smell me? 1975, the gods arrive. You know what I mean? So, okay, you a 73er, right? So y'all already know what it is. Talk black to me. Like, let's talk about it. I know how powerful 75 is, and I definitely have been tapped into the power of 73. And I'm here to let you know that loop we are approaching that loop with every single victory that the Knicks win. Every single game that they win, we are closing in on the 1973 loop. Now, let's go ahead and pull up what was going on in 1973 that we should be paying attention to. Not just paying attention to, but we could be tapping into this energy, and we could close the loop by tapping into the time machine, and the time machine is the music. The time machine is the music, right? That's the DeLorean. The DeLorean would be the music. Okay, so tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Tony, Orlando, and Dawn, right? Then you have Bad Leroy Brown. Then you have Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly, huh? Roberta Flack, guys, Killing Me Softly. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. Paul McCartney, My Love. Krish Krishnashoff, Why Me? Elton John with Crocodile Rock. And Billy Preston, Will It Go Round in Circles? Carly Simon with You're So Vain, huh? Diana Ross, Touch Me in the Morning, huh? Touch Me in my Timeless Rock in 73. So you had Aerosmith with Dream On, Leonard Skynard with Freebird and Simple Man, Pink Floyd with Money and Time from the Dark Side of the Moon, which was released this year. You got to play that. Dark Side of the Moon, Money and Time. Stevie Wonder with Superstition and Higher Ground. You got to play that and manifest it. Gladys Knight and the Pips, Midnight Train of Bomber Clyde, Georgia. Hold on. Rinse that shit. Midnight Train to Georgia. I'm on a midnight. Yeah, and the Pips. Yeah, and the Pips. Yeah, get the Gladys Knight and the Pips, my nigga. All my day traders. Midnight Train to Georgia. Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Beanie and the Jets. And the Eagles got Desperado. Okay. The Edgar Winter Group's track Frankenstein hit #1 on the Hot Billboard 100 in May. Okay. Go pull up Frankenstein and let Frankenstein rinse. You know, let that shit play. So these were the masterpieces. These were the ones that rewrote the rule book on studio production and album-oriented rock. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. Very powerful. Elton John, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. Now, you know, they were ruling the airwaves before hip-hop arrived. So we do pay homage and we do study the rock and roll, the albums of those times that were put together and are considered masterpieces, you know what I mean? Works of art and whatnot. We're not biased when it comes to the frequency and the sound, even though we know that some of those sounds were very low frequency. But yeah, we tap in. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. We tap in. Stevie Wonder, Inner Visions. We tap in. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Burning. We tap in. And the Firehorse Year, we tap in. The final album to feature the original lineup of Marley, Taj, and Bunny Wailer. Burning was a fierce revolution. And Jamaica is burning right now. Huh? Jamaica is burning right now. Talk black to me. Right now, Jamaica is burning and they don't have no electricity. What are we talking about? Right? So that album gets played and whatnot in the streets of New York, in the streets of Flatbush. If y'all really want to summon that energy and bring that shit real closer, bring the music out. Play the music. Play the in those outdoor movie theaters in New York, summertime in the park, and play Serpico. Play all of the 1973 movies. Facts. You got Lynyrd Skynyrd, right? That was a legendary debut. The Stooges, David Bowie popped out. David Bowie popped out. All right, top 10 movies. What were the top 10 movies? So you could go and pull those up too, right? Flip the covers. The hottest thing selling right now is Knicks merch. I just throw that out there. Citizen Kane, my nigga, they want to get us in chains. Huh? Citizen Kane, they want to get us in chains. The Godfather, excuse me, hello. That's 72. Okay. That's 72. I bet you it was popping at the top. Yeah. I bet you it spilled all the way into 73. 19. Oh, you young whippersnappers out here. Pull up a chair, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to go to Netflix with this list right here and get right. Nigga, The Exorcist. Okay. Head spinning, green vomit, white chick on the ceiling. Yeah, Exorcist, get ready. The Sting. Right? Yeah, that one with American Graffiti. Now, this is interesting because think about it. Before hip hop is officially, they have a #1 movie called American Graffiti. It's a coming of age movie about the 50s, right? This is from George Lucas, the same person that will give you Star Wars, huh? Go check that out. Serpico, huh? With Al Pacino, go check that out, right? Gritty New York crime drama. Paper Moon, Into the Dragon, Bruce Lee, go check that out. Mean Streets, De Niro, go check that out. Badlands, go check that out, huh? The Way We Were. So the big thing, I believe in 73 was really like, it was a few of the things, but The Exorcist really was a lot of talk around The Exorcist from thus far. From it made a big impact. It was a disruptor. Okay. It made history as the first era horror film to be nominated for the Best Picture. It was a cultural juggernaut, leading the pack with 10 total nominations. Right. The Academy proved too conservative to give the top prize to a movie about a demon-possessed girl vomiting bile. The Exorcist lost almost all the major categories, including Best Picture and Best Director, to much safer crowd-pleasing nostalgia's buddy comedy, The Sting. Huh? So they basically snubbed it because they didn't want the kickback of The Exorcist, you know, where they were really like exposing these people. That was really, when you think about it, it was one of the first movies of that genre to begin to expose the exorcism and the demonic possession of these people who came over here already possessed and began to possess other people when they got over here and whatnot. In the church, and especially through the Holy See, were intricately in bed. They were tied in with the egregor, you know what I'm saying, amongst many other things. And that movie was just blowing a lot of shit up. So if you did not see it, go watch that and go watch The Omen with Damien. You know what I mean? All of this other stuff that they play in the movie theaters is supposed to be scary. It doesn't measure up to the writing, you know? We'll return to the Knicks in a minute. We got some things that we need to cover right now. News-wise, there's a lot of shit going on in the world. We'll come back to the Knicks in 4, you know what I mean? This is just a warm-up. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's talk about Chud and them right now. So now we got black men who have friends who support racist people of their race. So you got black friends who have Asian friends, black men with white friends or what they call Caucasian, and then black friends with Indian friends, Asian friends, you know, their comrades, maybe co-workers, teammates, you name it, bandmates, you know what I'm saying, mates, you know what I mean? And they're coming to these conclusions and they're beginning to have these aha moments, and they're beginning to get their nigga wake up moments, and they're opening up their eyes that yeah, their friends are not really who they thought they were, y'all.
Be working with Alex Rosen henceforth. I will not be collaborating with him on any preg catches. I might have to run into him at, different court events and stuff, because we have done a lot of preg catches. We have done a lot of great work together. So we will probably have to be attending some certain court hearings and things like that. But as far as new preg catches or anything like that, or him being on this channel, you guys will not see him on this channel anymore. Alex has made his decision. Alex was on Twitter talking about how he supports Chud the Builder, things of that nature. But then he did something even a step beyond. He went and donated $10,000 to Chud the Builder's bond so that he can be back free on the streets. And I just cannot tolerate that, and I do not respect that, and I have to make a stand.
You go, boy. You make your stand. And of course, Nick Fuentes has something to say. Wake up.
Right wing in this country is fake. It's fake. The whole right wing, the Republican Party, all of the constellation of right wing think tanks, publishing houses, activist groups, they are all fake. It is all theater. It is all a Trojan horse. And what it is meant to conceal is penetration by a foreign state, Israel. Prager University, the CEO is a former IDF intelligence officer, and they don't even hide it. They brag about it. Ben Shapiro obviously is a spy. Running Daily Wire, he clearly has a relationship with Netanyahu and the state of Israel. Breitbart, the editor is Joel Pollack, who studied Jewish studies at a Jewish university, converted his wife to Judaism, and he's not even from here. Fox News and the New York Post are owned by Rupert Murdoch, who is a Zionist and a close personal friend and a donor for Bibi Netanyahu. The Republican Party, its single biggest individual contributor for many cycles running, has been Sheldon and Miriam Adelson. The GOP, Fox News, Breitbart, Daily Wire, PragerU, and all the think tanks, Claremont, is funded by Paul Singer. And Claremont creates I Am 1776, American Mind. It goes on and on and on and on, exactly like this. Peter Thiel was the single biggest individual contributor in the midterms for the Republicans. He got J.D. Vance elected, put money behind Joe Kent and Blake Masters. They lost. Put money behind a number of other losing candidates, Patrick Witt, who sucked. I think that was his name, something like that. Anyway, not important. Peter Thiel puts money behind Red Scare, Sovereign House, the New Atlantis Project, puts money behind Bronze Age Mindset, all of the above. Peter Thiel, 50% of his net worth is in Palantir, whose CEO, Alex Karp, is a Jewish Zionist who said his greatest fear is that the Christian right wing will take over America and defenestrate him, which means throw him out of a window. They flew the entire board of Palantir out to Israel after October 7th. Israel's Lavender AI facial recognition comes from that suite of companies. After October 7th, Palantir said it reserved a number of spots at the company for Jewish employees. It was like a reverse affirmative action for Jews. And it's infiltrated from top to bottom by Israeli intelligence. That's half his net worth. And that's who's providing the money for all this alternative stuff like NatCon and everything else. It's a fake right wing. It's all fake. And they will be as racist as they want against blacks or Hispanics or Indians. And they will be as jingoistic as they want. Or they can sound nationalist in some ways. They can sound protectionist. They can sound like immigration restrictionist. They can talk about a lot of things. But there's one thing you can't talk about that everybody knows. There's one thing that you can't talk about at Turning Point USA. Candace Owens, when she got fired from Daily Wire, she still spoke at a Turning Point convention. Charlie Kirk put out a letter to all of his donors on a hidden website saying she's not an employee. She doesn't represent our views on Israel. We're the biggest supporters of Israel. We produced 1 million documentaries about Israel. We flew all these people out to Israel. There's one thing you're not allowed to say at Turning Point, Daily Wire, Breitbart, Fox News, Claremont, NatCon, Republican Party. There's one thing you're not allowed to say. And that is that Israel is not our closest ally. That is that the United States has been totally subverted by a fifth column. You know what a fifth column is? It means a hidden army, a secretive, hidden foreign army operating in the United States, concealing itself on behalf of a foreign government. And that is what we have. We don't have a foreign aid problem. We don't necessarily even have a lobbying problem. We have a penetration and infiltration problem. Hollywood, the media, academia, politics are all the elite sectors in society are thoroughly infiltrated by people, agents that are working on behalf of the state of Israel and on behalf of world Jewry.
Yet they are racist towards black people and immigrants here in America. You got to be a special kind of delusional to think Jews are the only ones causing problems. As if one of our biggest problems in this world isn't a white dude. In fact, all of the billionaires I showed in the background here have been white dudes. This guy's half Cuban. Like, none of them are Jewish. A lot of you guys completely ignore the Vatican Church and how they used Jews to hoard their money and hide it because they were not allowed to lend money. They put Jewish people in the position of power. that we see today. It's because of the Catholics. If there were no more Jewish people tomorrow, we'd still have ultra wealthy white people controlling this world. That's the point I'm making. But I can't stop the internet Nazis from blaming Jews for everything and not taking accountability, not realizing that it's not just Jewish people, who are also European, by the way. Ashkenazi Jews are from Europe. It's not just them. It's all Europeans. It's anybody who's European or European descent controlling the world, basically. I am glad you are against the oppression of Palestinians and that you want to remove Israel's influence from America. 100% agree. But we are not going to replace it with Nazism. If you are still hateful towards black people and immigrants and women and gay people, then you're no better than them. We don't want you either. And this is coming from somebody who's literally watched the entire last battle of Europa. I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm just saying, I know what all of you guys believe. I've researched, I've done all that stuff, and I'm still against white people. Because if you look at it, if you take Jewish people out of the picture, it's still white people causing the problems. I'm sorry. Hate to be the one to break it. You can't blame everything on Jews.
Act of the American military and the IDF merging? No, I didn't. It's confusing and I'm tired. What does it say? Well, it says we're going to be basically collaborating with them on all levels and sharing all of our technologies with them. It's even in private sector. Wait, private sectors? That's private businesses owned by individuals. That has nothing to do with our government. Why would the American military be using our tax dollars to help private businesses that could possibly even be Israeli? Well, they're saying it's going to be done in a way that protects our national security and interest. Not understanding our tax dollars go to these private sectors who are responsible for food services, to soldiers, weapons maintenance, base security, a whole bunch of different things owned by private companies. And now it's going to Israel. Oh, and who knows who owns their private sectors, right? And we're still paying for it with our tax dollars. I guess they weren't very clear in this report. Of course, it's written so vaguely that we can't hold them accountable for anything. That's how it's done. Did you know Israel is banned in 15 countries due to their atrocities, and we're aligning with them? Yeah, why would we let another country that's on the UN blacklist have access to all of our secrets on every level? To the untrained brain, they might just say, we're under two different sovereign nations, two different governments. Of course, we couldn't possibly be merging. But they're involved in every facet of our military now, all of our technologies, all of our secrets. They know everything. They're working in cahoots with us on every single level now, according to this 2027 plan. I mean, a lot of different states are already flying the Israeli flag next to the American flag outside of government buildings, religious institutions. It's going to desensitize a lot of people and make it pretty easy for Israel to start taking over, especially if our militaries are already not technically merged, but literally merged, you know. Be careful. They might call you an anti-Semite. They might call you anti-Jew. I'm sorry, what does being Jewish have to do with any of this, of it, like another country taking over and integrate? I don't know why, actually, but in today's world, it's a lot scarier to be accused of being anti-Jew in a situation that has nothing to do with Judaism, than being treasonous to your own country. It's really weird.
Was a majority black American town where many people were successful, like this guy Jack Hawley. This man Jack Hawley had 700 acres, a dairy, a store, and his own granary. They took minor disagreements and minor disputes and exaggerated it into this huge race war propaganda, which they then used to inspire the racist white Americans to go hunting the black Americans one by one in the forest. Nobody knows for sure how many people died, but it was at least 60 people, if not 100 people. There were 11 white men that were arrested, taken to Houston, and their charges were quietly dropped. They never served 1 day in prison. Oh, and Jack Hawley, he never got any of that back. He lost all of his property and all of his stores. So when you hear a racist person using race war propaganda, just ignore them. This is a tactic they've been using for years, and we're going to slowly expose it because a lot of these stories are just coming out. We didn't even acknowledge this until 2011. So I know some of y'all are hearing this for the first time. See, racist people aren't going to study history. They're not going to realize that the garbage that they regurgitate is just propaganda that's been used for years by white supremacists. Race wars are only started by white people. That's it.
It said, why punish other businesses that had nothing to do? I just passed by a boycott of an Asian hair store here in Houston. And immediately when I get on TikTok, I see a post of a young gentleman saying people all over the country are boycotting Asian hair stores and Asian nail salons because of what happened to Cyrus. The most liked comment said, why punish other businesses that had nothing to do that? And my response to that is very simple. Because I can't look at the color of your skin to determine whether you're friend or foe. For years, y'all have looked at the color of our skin and looped us all as criminals, as has-beens. We ain't gonna never be nothing and we are tired. But when we do it to you, it's a problem. But Drea, we're not all like that. And I understand that you're not all like that. But I am not willing to walk into another store or into another business that don't have somebody that look like me to find out that you're not one of the cool ones. What do? We stop going to all of your establishments. We start supporting our own, period. I'm about to start putting together a series of Black Wall Street Zooms that is free, that is for everybody in the Black community that can come and start learning about resources in your area for you to support your own people. And I know that there's an app out there that you can go to. I'm not talking about no app. I'm talking about real conversations, real people that you can connect to in your area.
That dude get off and his son get off because they want to race. They killed that black boy and they let that dude get off and his son get off because they want a race war. But what's interesting about white people and like elite white people that want this race war so bad, basically just like the Palantir Nazis in government and then like the Trump idiots, they want black people to throw the first punch so they can justify why they want to mutilate, murder, rape, destroy, beat down, demonize, dehumanize us. But they don't want to accept the fact that that's how they feel without us doing anything. Like that's just how they feel in relation to our existence. But they keep on doing this reactive abuse shit, the racism, all of this baiting us because they want us to do the thing on the front end that justifies why they feel this way or why they're justified in acting this way. They're so fucking weird, bro. Like when you study white people and like white culture, study narcissism like hand in hand. It's one of the greatest examples of narcissism on that has expanded from a cult group to a complete globalized like social conscious. It's fucking weird as fuck, bro. Like there is genuinely no value in the color of your skin. In your melanin, there is value that can be appreciated by your environment, by society, by the world, by all of that stuff, especially by science. But this color of your skin, like, oh, we don't have any pigment in our skin, so we're better than you. Like, you know, that there's a better chance that your ancestry actually comes out of caves, like underground caves, and you accidentally came to the surface, and then now you're trying to like colonize the surface land. Because the only way that you could be down there and transparent, like your skin is transparent, just like the fish in the ocean who have transparent skin, is because they don't get any sunlight. Who burns in the sun? All right. But yeah, this is, I'm telling you, black people, rest in peace to the child, bro. And rest in peace to all of us, because I'm telling you right now, until we sit here and call every one of these things out and we don't let up off the gas, until we do that, bro, they're sacrificing us, bro. Because they want this race war so bad. And they don't only want a race war. The little MAGA Nazis and ICE rapists, they want a race war. So they can justify why they have 50 guns sitting in their bunkers or 50 guns sitting inside like a closet in their house. They want to take this out on American citizens, bro. This is in-fucking insane. And they're also jealous that their grandparents and their great-grandparents got to enjoy the benefits of Jim Crow or slavery, and they're the unfortunate class that doesn't get to. And not only that, but they have to compete with a bunch of other marginalized people who were just given human rights and people who are super ambitious and super driven to never be marginalized or dehumanized again. And these lazy ass people have to compete with that. You think they're gonna do it? Fuck no, bro.
Bad Boys is perfectly describing personality disorder of a dark triad, and that's the Homelander. Homelander narcissism shows up as a grandiosity, constant need for admiration, obsession with image, and inability to handle criticism. He does not simply want to be loved, he needs constant, non-stop reflection from others to maintain his identity. Machiavellian side, it shows up how he manipulates the perception of the public. Troll narratives, he's studying the weaknesses of others people, and he strategically uses fear, loyalty, and dependency to maintain his dominance. His psychopathic traits show up as a lack of empathy, zero empathy. Emotional shallowness, the willingness to hurt others, to kill people, without any remorse, and he is not capable of any genuine connection with the other people. He is not even a villain because he was created by other people, and he only represents ego that got so inflated that it's mistaking itself for the reality. And the tragedy of him is that even he has all these superpowers, he constantly needs validation from other people. He cannot live without it. He emotionally depends on opinions of others.
I have received the most wonderful message. I was visited by an angel, and she foretold my destiny.
Well, praise be. And what is it?
God.
Sir, that is wonderful. There is no higher calling than serving the Lord.
No, not serving the Lord. Being the Lord. Stephen, here I am, a living God, right before your eyes, and still your faith wavers. It's okay, but I'm not angry. But I am disappointed. I don't make mistakes. I'm not just like the rest of you. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better. I'm not some weak-kneed fucking crybaby that goes around fucking apologizing all the time. And why the fuck would you want me to? I'm done. I am done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am, because you need me.
Man, I saw the last episode of The Boys the other day. It was the end of the show. Spoiler alert. And they took out Homelander. And I felt bad about it. Like, is that wrong that I felt bad that I cried when Homelander died? Is that wrong? They wrote this character over the years to be a likable anti-hero. You know, he's a piece of work. He's a narcissist. He is a dark triad. He's a Donald Trump. He is a Donald Trump. Yeah, they got me. Yeah. They definitely did. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn. They went out he went out bad. But yeah, he's a dark triad. He's Trump. He's the ultimate. Yeah, he was the ultimate, quote unquote, dark tetrad, dark triad character. And the way that he went out so bad. You feel me? He went out so bad. And to be honest with you, it was definitely there was no other way that he could go out. You feel me? It was definitely something he should have went out even more, with it's when Cersei on Game of Thrones died, I was kind of tight. When Cersei died, I was, when Jamie died, when fucking Jamie Lannister. So yeah. You wouldn't say that he is like Trump. I think that Homelander and Trump are the closest doppelganger in his character than anybody in popular culture. His doppelganger is exactly that. Do you know that they call Donald Trump Cyrus the Great? Do you know that Donald Trump, if he had the opportunity to, would get on camera and compare himself to Christ in front of all of his constituents and his enemies? Do you know that Donald Trump has a God-like complex? This is the man from The Apprentice, mind you. Okay. Now to think that you're hot shit while your biggest accomplishment is NBC ratings with The Apprentice is one thing than when you're a world leader, right? It's a different type of narcissism. It's a different type of delusion, grandeur delusions. This man is said to be the reincarnation of Cyrus the Great. Cyrus the Great, okay? The Persian king, Cyrus the Great, like the only person who Homelander could even be compared to. You name me a person, if it's not Donald Trump, who else do you think that they were writing this character and taking from real life? I mean, of course, they were probably taken from a plethora of characters, a symphony of characteristics and characters, of course, but their main source of inspiration of inspo was Biff and Donald Trump. His narcissism towards the end, when he was making when Homelander was making that speech to the world and he was declaring himself as the living, breathing God, the God King, right? Wasn't that something that like a Napoleon or an Alexander did before they basically lost their shit? You know, this is the heights of people's ego. I think Three God actually did it. Eligio, right? He declared himself to be God and brought a he, right? Brought a whole type of you know, basically tried to introduce a whole crazy way of life. You know what I mean? Like that's crossing that line. And in the TV show The Boys, which I would highly quote unquote recommend, this would come highly recommended by me. This would come highly recommended as must watch TV. This would come highly it's 5 seasons long, right? You could binge on all 5 seasons over a few days. It's dark as hell though. Dark. When I say dark, it's the darkest shit on cable, on streaming net platforms. You know what I mean? It's like it's like it's like a graphic novel on TV. Yeah. Yeah. It's like something that you would find in Forbidden Planet. It would be like a graphic novel, not a comic book. Marvel is a comic book. Whoever the Boys universe is, it's a graphic novel. It's like Forbidden Planet type shit. It's something that you'll find in one of those expensive magazine stores. And it's gross too. Yes, it is gross. I just have to throw that in there. This is not to be, Game of Thrones is considered gross as well, right? It's very adult. So do not have the young ones watching it. It's very gross. It's literally, it started as a comic. So they have translated the gore, right? It's very gory. And it also has, Seth Rogen has something to do with it. That's it. Once I say his name, if you're on that type of time and you understand when you hear Seth Rogen, you know what level of comedy comes with that. I don't have to explain anything else, right? That whole bro culture shit, it's in there. Seth Rogen has his hands involved, so you already know what's happening, right? But the storyline, the way that they flipped the comic book universe on his head and darkened that shit, And the way that they flipped a lot of things, top tier. The writing, definitely the first 2 seasons, right? It starts to, starts to fluctuate. But the first 2 seasons, elite writing, the shit, excellent. Go check it out. You know? Who would the butcher be? Okay, so for the people that's unfamiliar with the series, right? The thing is, there's a group called the Supes. So the Supes are like the superheroes. The Supes would be considered, in my humble opinion, when I was breaking down, there's levels to the Supes, but the rappers could be considered the Supes. You understand? In our reality, like the rappers, they are considered the Supes of our culture. If you were to ask me, they appear to, they're like superheroes, right? But then you have a politician like Trump, who's so polarizing and so quote unquote brash, and he's so quote unquote domineering and whatnot, right? Like this character is an excellent. That's why people are talking about Homelander, and you'll hear about that name for a very long time, because the type of character development that they did with this villain and whatnot is it is a superb character development. It is a superb, chilling quote unquote villain. He is a chilling villain. He is Superman on fentanyl. The nigga be wilding. When I say wilding, he's wilding. You have no idea what Homelander is out here doing in these 5 seasons. He catches mad bodies. I promise you. With no remorse. But come to find out, he's a tortured child. Right? He was born in a lab. He's a test tube baby and shit. And he's had father issues. You dig? His father's a madman. His name's Soldier Boy, right? There's a character on the show who's a black woman, and her name is Sister Sage, and she's the smartest person on the planet. That's her superpower, but she's a villain. But her power is that she's the smartest person on the planet. No? But she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You're Lululemon, right? Who I remember as a youth watching Superman 3 when he went dark. I saw it in the movie theaters, right? And I'm sitting, as Richard Pryor was in the movie. So my dad took me and my brother to see Superman 3, and we wanted to see another movie, but we wound up seeing Superman 3, and Superman was in that bitch going dark. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, wow, homie is going to the dark side. That had a psychological appeal on my generation when Superman went to the bizarro world on Superman 3 with Richard Pryor, who also went dark. Remember, Richard Pryor he lit himself on fire, freebasing, and turned into a dark-like figure to our generation. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't see Richard Pryor as a dope fiend. Richard Pryor was an adult comedian who our parents would be like, oh, y'all got to leave the room. Oh, cover your ears. Oh, we about to play this record and whatnot. Y'all got to go to sleep. Damn, for Richard Pryor. But then when the movies started coming out with Richard Pryor, all of the movies was fire. And then, Richard Pryor got into the drug shit a little dark. It got dark with the nigga. But this whole thing is about people turning dark. The whole allure of Star Wars is about Anakin turning into Darth Vader. You know what I'm saying? That was really happening. There was a lot of Anakins in the hood, man. From 1973 to 2026, Do you know how much anarchy has taken place with this dark tetrad and in our culture throughout our generations? Homelander is also a poster child of crazy niggas. He is an excellent study in villainism. Marlo from The Wire, excellent study in villainy. There's a lot of villains that you should study and whatnot. But this nigga right here, you know, Sister Sage saved his ass, right? She's the all-knowing. Yep, she's Big Mama. She was able to tap into her brain and whatnot, doing real freaky shit in order to get her downloads and whatnot. But she put together multiple plans to keep his ass alive. He had mommy issues and father issues. This shit is deep. We're gonna do a whole show on The Boys. I'm gonna have a panel. I'm gonna have a panel. He killed. This is the president right here. He squashed he killed the president in the Oval Office because he didn't believe that this dude was the second coming. He started becoming mad delusional in season 5 with this delusion of grandeur and went madman crazy, sort of like how Trump is going right now. Madman crazy, sort of how like Bibi Netanyahu going what? Madman crazy. Losing their fucking shit. Literally pooping on themselves. Right? Is the show still on? The last show of the entire quote unquote series came out like 2 weeks ago, I believe. But it's sitting right there in Amazon Prime, all 5 seasons lined up waiting for your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's sitting there waiting for your ass right there in the server. All you got to do is press play and get ready to get, you know, I don't know. You're not walking out of the boys how you walked into the boys. Let's just say that, you know. But it's literally, it flips all of your favorite comic book character, DC and Marvel universe, and somehow the way they wrote that shit, they threw everybody's inside of it. But then they weave the political, they weave Trump all throughout it too. They weave the political left and right, woke and non-woke, LBGT versus the church. All of that shit is weaved into there. It was even some things with like a Peter Thiel character in there. You know? Yeah, the prequel starts soon. And they have another series called Gen V about the youngest. They got the spinoffs coming, and they have one about the younger generation. I didn't tap into that. They said that it was worth watching. Blue told me that was worth watching. And it's a tie into the boys as well. But it's definitely a good case study, even in how to write out some series, for my writers, for my script writers. That right there is it would be a perfect case study on how to create 5 seasons of some crazy, fast paced, I mean, off the wall, like they were drawing outside of the lines when they wrote some of these episodes, you know. Okay, so Gen V had you hooked from the first episode. Ah man, let me go and get ready. Let me go ahead and dive down that rabbit hole. Hey, yeah. Okay, it tells the story of the founder. Okay, right. The cartoony Invincible. If that's what you're asking, yes, I have. You know, I saw Invincibles before I saw the boys. And yes, I definitely see how the Invincibles at the cartoon ties into the boys as a TV series, you know. Right, the school for the soups. I have not seen Back Rooms as of yet. I am still getting ready to go see it, but I didn't go see it yet. You said you stop it. That's saying a lot, bro. I know you be saying I know. Listen, you said that Gen V is harder than the boys. This is not Sacrilegious Sundays, is it? No, it's Saturday Night Live. You could say that when it's the sacrilegious day. I ain't going for that. Yeah, it got canceled after season 3. Yeah. Alien Earth is good. Okay. I'm gonna have to Yeah. The boy. Thank you. We ain't gonna do all of that. I mean, Gen V is cool, but we not about to say it's better than the boys. It's where the virus comes from. Okay. I bet you niggas might have want some of them syringes. That Formula V. But let's go and let's continue to go down this thing. But I'm just bookmarking and letting y'all know, New York City is
Done apologizing.
Grandiosity,
this
constant
character right
need
here
for
is that background. These characters that are gonna be in Madison Square Garden for Game 3, my city breeds Homelanders. My city breeds American psychos. No, dead ass. Donald Trump is the biggest Homelander. Like I'm saying, he's going to get a hero's welcome. Don't fall for it. I mean, they're going to boo him and everything. Donald Trump on the front row on courtside, Game 3 of the finals with the alien and the young boys that's balling on some new look. They have 44. They won 44 games. Do you know the Knicks have not lost a game since Christmas? Do you know the Knicks have not lost a game? Something is going on in this city, bro. This is not regular. There's an energy that's being built up in the Empire State. There has been an energy that has been brewing. They have tapped into a frequency. They have tapped into an energy. They have tapped into a current. There's a wave going on. And I when the wave god came home, I was in New York. I was like, yo, the wave is about to really start. It was on November the 7th. I remember it because I was in Coney Island by the Brighton Beach, and it was around the time of my son. I was like, yo, this shit about to get wavy for real, for real. They lost twice to Atlanta. No, they didn't lose at home, though. They didn't lose at home. They have the best run in all of NBA history. Do not take my word for it. Go watch Stephen A. Smith and Cameron and them niggas. Don't take my word. I ain't the sports. They got the best run ever in basketball. Facts. That's what they saying. That's what they saying. They played the best 12 games ever in the history of the NBA. Yeah. They lost at home too. Look, go talk to Cameron. Go talk to the stats. Go talk to the stats. Go talk to the stats from Staten Island. Okay? They say these niggas is breaking records, bro. 12 straight. They've been smacking. This is the illest playoff run, they said, on record. And then somebody's going to say, oh, not better than MJ Chicago while you cleaning your Jordans in the sink. Listen, I didn't say it. They said it. I'm over here on Poly Market trying to find a way, man. Listen, they said it. I'm dead ass. Nixon 4. Bring the brooms out. Fuck you mean? Bring the brooms out and give me that chopped cheese, nigga. The city is back. What we talking about? Y'all want to talk? No, what do we talk about? Just little baby mom drama. Ooh, just little baby mom drama. Bitch still mad I don't want her. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, let's get that chip. Yeah, Nixon 4. Yeah, let me get that. Give me that. Ooh. Niggas don't want to see New York win, boy. I'm telling you. I don't think y'all understand what these wins are doing for our DNA. The junk DNA is waking up. Every New Yorker, everywhere. New Yorkers in El Segundo, niggas in Nebraska, in Alaska. They DNA is like, ooh, it's waking up. This is some 100 monkey theory type shit. I promise you. Just little baby mom drama. Just little baby mom drama. Yeah. We all forming Voltron. This is big for us. You know what I'm talking about? The last time niggas woke up, y'all got hip hop. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, something is gonna come out of this. Y'all saying nigga alchemy right now. Wow. Donald Trump trying to drink the looch. Huh? He trying to he trying to drink the looch. That's why he want to sit on the floor and whatnot. He trying to sip from the juice. Niggas have built up a wave and whatnot. Why he don't just wait to go to the FIFA game? Why he gotta come amongst the niggas? This is all nigga activity. This is melanin in motion, ladies and gentlemen. Huh. Let's be clear. Okay, let's be clear. Huh? This is that melanin moving through New York. This that OG energy moving through New York. Think about it. Let's talk about this shit real quick. We're gonna get into the stuff. We're gonna get into the news clips in a minute. The energy of New York City, right? Nothing to take anything away from the young people in New York City who are like my son's age and everything, the young whippersnappers, the drillers and everything, the ones that do the dances and they streaming on Twitch. Yeah, cool. But the energy that is big, that's building up, that people are, we're talking about it through the Knicks. This is a portal. We're talking about it through a sports team and a sports game. But we know that these sports games have more significance than just regular sports game, especially when it comes to basketball and New York City. Go and do the research on the Hero Twins. They were playing basketball all the way back then. Right? But ever since the energy in New York City changed after the shutdown or the lockdown and whatnot, they've been locking down the light codes inside of the empire mother effing state. New York City, the home of hip hop, with a culture that still runs the world and whatnot, the shit that's powering the world, the energy that's powering the world, that the people who went against the war with the quote unquote beast or the quote unquote colonizers in the U.S.A, they were using hip hop in the form of Lego movies and whatnot, because hip hop that was born in 1973 is one of the greatest inventions, one of the greatest weapons, one of the greatest counterculture insurgencies. It is the proverbial Black Messiah that J. Edgar Hoover or Gay Edgar Hoover and them was afraid of, and what they was trying to stop and whatnot. And it is the quote unquote Black Messiah that Nixon and all of them niggas was afraid of and started the COINTELPRO. Can I get an amen? This art form, not rap, excuse me, in 1973, an art form was born. The same year that the number one of the top movies was named American Graffiti. Well, African American, nigga, Native American Graffiti was also born. It happened to be one of the four, sorry, Hove, Afro Hove, even Basquiat Hove, my guy. It's 5 pillars. Okay? It's 5 pillars. You have the first pillar, which is MCing. And when you MCing, you're doing what Stephen A. Smith is doing. Master of ceremony. You're talking that shit. You're talking. MCing is initially master of ceremonies, not just a rapper. It's the podcast host. It's Cameron and Mace on its sports show. Okay. It's Gil Scott Heron in The Last Poets with the spoken word. It's King Simon and all of the hosts at the parties and whatnot. And it's the people at the clubs on the mic and whatnot holding it down. Then it's the quote unquote freestylers who get on the mic and then the 1 and 2 and stuff like that. That goes all the way up, and that evolves into Smack DVD, where these dudes is tapping into the trivium, right? Where they're tapping into God mode frequencies, God tier type shit with the battle rappers. Where they're activating their brains, parts of their brains, sectors of their brains that you just cannot necessarily activate by just having a regular conversation. And there's nobody in no other music genre out there that can do that. Right? So we see in 1973 the birth of a culture. MC 1, master of ceremony. 2, then you have graffiti, or what you call art, and graffiti fits into art, but the same type of art, that this flyer right here, that's hip-hop. That's still a part of the arts, even though it might not be graffiti on a motherfucking train. This is hip-hop. Okay. So art is one aspect of it, but art goes all the way into making film, as videos, as anything that you do artistically. Boom. Then the next one is dance. Dance happens to be breakdancing, but dancing is also that shit that they doing with the Memphis bop and whatnot. Dancing is also footwork and whatnot. Dancing is also when they on a train and it's showtime. This all of that is dancing. All of that TikTok stuff that they doing, that's all dancing. That's all a part of hip hop. That's a part of our culture. It's just different modes, different versions, different algorithms of it. Then you have what? DJ, right? The DJ. And the DJ was reminiscent of the drum. The DJ is also the DJ went from being the two turntables and whatnot at the house party. Then it turned into the DJ that was with the groups and whatnot. Now that DJ thing has expanded to EDM and all type of shit. And then the 5th pillar, of course, is what is known as knowledge itself, aka consciousness, aka street knowledge. That's higher infinite power healing our people. Higher infinite power healing our people. That's what was born in 1973. Higher infinite power healing our people. 5 pillars, right? So when we talk about 2026 being a bookend, a 53-year cycle, we're able to now contain this cycle and whatnot. We're not the cycle is in a container. It's in a 53-year container, right? Now we're able to decipher what has taken place within those 53 years. We have the technology, we have the tools, we have the resources, and we have the experts that could take raw data that are available to the public and private data, crunch it, and come back with results, with answers, with analytics of what was going on. But where we are right now, we're finding ourselves tapping into a powerful timeline. The 1973 timeline is elite. It is powerful. It is going to put us on a whole nother new timeline. Trust. What will be born out of this year is going to take our people to new heights. And it's not even about a basketball game, you know? You know? It's about the power of our people when we are electrified, when we are magnified, right? When we are turned on, when we are charged and whatnot. You feel me? When we activate it. Do not sleep on the Empire State. And I won't sleep on, the gold, everybody, the land of flowers, the Georgia peaches, all of those places. But yeah, we have Enter the Dragon in 73. Yeah, we Enter the Dragon in 73, right? Whose reading was talking about this year about Enter the Dragon? I know that we are in the fire horse year and whatnot. You feel me? So that's a whole nother energy that's really running through this thing, burning shit up, burning shit down, moving with a force where things are literally like just burning. Yeah, that's the last year that the Knicks won a chip was 73. Right? That's the last year that the Knicks won a chip. That's 73, right? So as we move closer to that victory of them getting this chip, we are ushering in that magical, mystical, powerful energy that existed in 1973. Because please believe me, things changed. They really did change. And I won't necessarily say for the better, but this was a great window right here. This is a great window to tap into. You know, the Spurs beat the Knicks in 99. That's right. They did. They definitely did. So we tapping into the 73 timeline more so than the 99 timeline. The more wins they get under their belt, the closer they get into this timeline. The more losses, the closer they get to the 99 timeline. So you see how that works, right? So they faced the Spurs before in 99. So this is a mirror of the 99 quote unquote rematch that they had in 99 with the Spurs, where the Spurs actually won. But when we're talking about them breaking them out of that cycle, you have to pick the year that they won, and you have to focus on the year that they won and not the year that they lost. So the year that they took, the last time that they had the chip was 73. So as they begin to win, the closer they get to that, and we're pushing them into that. So we're playing the music from 73. We're posting the movies from 73, and we're updating it with Brunson in it. If the movie was Serpico, we're putting Brunson on the cover of Serpico instead of Al Pacino was Brunson. What were the other movies of 73? I post some of the names of the top 10 movies of 1973, and we're gonna flip those movies into we're gonna juxtapose it with the modern day iconography and the motifs and whatnot. That's how you do sigil magic. This is how you do meme magic. This is literally how it works. I'm gonna show you. You feel me? So Into the Dragon, right? Into the Dragon is 73 and whatnot. So I already got an image with Brunson in them. Instead of having Bruce Lee and all of them on the cover, is Brunson, it's the whole gang. So, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our little sigil magic on that. Okay, the Sting was out. Right. So the Sting, you could easily flip the Sting. American Graffiti, that cover's gonna get flipped. The Exorcist, that cover's gonna get flipped. Who we gonna put on the Exorcist? Was it gonna be Greta Thunberg or somebody? Who gonna be on the girl on the Exorcist? Paper Moon. I would put Baron Trump. I don't know. We'll put somebody there. Coffee. Wait a minute. With Pam Grier? Okay. That was 73. All right. Yeah, I saw that, Bobby, when he broke down Into the Dragon. I did see that. Pam Bondi for The Exorcist. That would be fire, right? Oh man. Serpico. Yeah, we're gonna put Bronson on the Serpico cover. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no, instead of Erica. Oh my goodness. There you go. Got him, Erica Kirk. Erica Kirk on the Exodus, on the Exorcist movie cover, y'all. Who gonna do that? Where my Imaginarium KT aliens? Let's cook. Here we go. They go to NO Boss. They go your they go to Alley Oop. We're gonna flip all of these 1973 movie posters and juxtapose them with the gods. You understand? Because we bringing in, we are going to be bringing in the W. If y'all want to see the city activated, if y'all really want to get this shit charged up, then yeah, you'll be on the right side of history. Yeah, so Erica Kirk, undeniable. I mean, we could do a vote, but we don't even got to do the vote. We know what it is. She gets the cover. She's like the Madden. She gets the Madden cover. Okay. The Day of the Jackal. Ooh, I'm gonna cook that. The Mac came out in 73. Facts. Is that Diddy? Who we gonna put on a Mac cover? The short guy? Is it who's the Mac? Who's out here macking? Who's them bitches? The Day of the Jackal. Scorpio was the name of the movie. What? Live and Let Die. The Spook Who Sat by the Door came out in 1973. Oh, that's Mom Donnie. Who the spook gonna be? Oh, Sauce Walker as the Mac. Oh yeah. Ooh-wee.
To this day. To this day.
What was I even thinking about? The saucy one. Ooh-wee. Yes, it's Sauce Walker on the Mac. The Sauce Walker with the Mac movie. Let's fucking go. American Graffiti with the 3 Ks. Let's fucking go. Look, the Iceman cometh. Order in the court. Order in the court. Objection. Order in the court. Yes, the Iceman cometh. 1973. Huh? Yeah, we know about you old heads. The jig is up. Yeah. Mean Streets with Drake on the cover. What we talking about? Huh? Yeah. Meg Thee Stallion as the girl on something. What we gonna put Eligio in? What movie was because listen, Eligio got 2026. He got about he got May. What is this? June? Yeah, Eligio got May. He took May. It's 12 months out this bitch. He got May. He caught Mayday. So where's Eligio gonna go on? What movie are we going to place our friend Eligio on? So Live and Let Die came out. Coffee came out. This nigga is Blackula. Okay. Meg Thee Stallion on Coffee. Fire. That's fire. I don't know about that. We gotta talk about that. I gotta think about that. Nah, man. Who got the Baddie Award or the Goodie Award? Because they gotta. Did you see Pam Grier on the cover of Coffee? Oh, the High Plains Drifter. Diddy as Blackula. Yes. Eligio would be Vampire in Brooklyn. But the High Plains Drifter came out. Do y'all know about the High Plains Drifter now? Y'all do know about the High Plains Drifter. I think we got ourselves a role. We might have ourselves one. But we got to go through more of the 1973 blockbuster catalog to see what cover the God is gonna get. The 3 God. You know? Hell Up in Harlem. Please tell me what year that was. The Spook That Sat by the Door. The Spook That Sat by the the Spook Who Sat by the Back Door. Clint Eastwood. Where was Clint at? Nigga said Kevin Hart as Fiddler. What year was Roots? Oh yeah, he's the Exorcist. My bad. Yeah, he's the Exorcist. The whole crib is the Exorcist. Into the forest. Into the nature. What about Hell Up in Nature? Oh, that was 73, Hell Up in Harlem? Oh shit. Hold on now. The Mac. The Godfather. Hold on. Hold on. What if we get my nigga the Mac cover? with the eyebrow pointing up, with the feather and shit. You know what I'm talking about? My nigga was well oiled. What if we give him the Mac cover? With the bear, he got the squirrel on. He got the squirrel fur with the shorties around him. And they got the afros before they cut it. No? With the face paint? No? The cowrie shells? No? No? Okay. Roots came out in 77. Oh, man. Let's get to these videos. Who's the Mac? Black Caesar came out too. Oh man, god damn it. Y'all making this hard on me, boy. I'm gonna have to go to Suno with the soundtrack. If this nigga gets the Mac cover, I think that's going to the vote. Yeah, let's go to the polls, guys. We're gonna take that one to the polls on some black voter shit, voter rights. We're gonna take that. We gotta it's a bevy of covers that this nigga could be on. So we're gonna have to go to the polls for Eligio. Is he the Mac? Is he Cleopatra Jones? Is he Black Caesar? Do we put the girls in afros, or do they have the shit with the beads in it? You know, the Stevie Wonder beads, because it was around the disco era, right? Yeah, we gotta vote on that one. We gotta get that one right. You know what I'm talking about? But definitely, Eligio is Trick Baby. Oh man, the harder they come. Oh Lord, pause. What are we talking about? Marvin Gaye. Oh Lord, pausing 10. Black man, black mama, white mama. Hail Caesar. Oh man, what do you want from me? Yeah, Drake is Trick Baby. Your man, call me Ice. Call me Ice. The Mac for Brunson. I gave him too much. Nah, I'm telling you, okay. Okay, my nigga, a cultural phenomenon right now. Sauce Walker is Baby Boy. Oh, wait. That's the song of the summer. I don't know what y'all talking about. Yo, check this shit out. Check this out.
Do y'all know that there's a secret internet? Quite literally an internet with 4,200 terminals and 147 private homes that is not accessible to the public? A whole other internet. And then I started to see all of these people climbing out of these holes in New York. And I'm starting to believe that the world as we know.
Remember the Chud the Builder. Remember when we, you know what I mean? I know that B. Dell talked about Chud the Builder. He was probably one of the first ones that talked about the movie Chud, where it's cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. And then all of a sudden, you get Chud the Builder and Chud. They keep bringing his name up like Candyman. And then you got this whole, this, it's like an epidemic of people coming up from the undergrounds in New York City on some Ninja Turtle shit. Now we're not in. This is something that we don't do. I don't know who's doing it, but this is a phenomenon going on right now. So yeah,
It isn't nothing like what it seems. So there's this thing called ARPANET and ARPA 7, and it is this private network that is connected to every military agency, every central bank, and 147 private residential homes. And this thing is not accessible. You can't just look it up on Google. You can't just look it up on the web. It is a completely separate internet. And we're not even talking about the dark web. It goes deeper than that. It is separate, and only a small amount of people, including the biggest people, have access to it. And when I talk about these 147 people, we're not talking about government employees. We're talking about private residential homes, a selected group of people. And when you think about the fact that they're always talking about the 13 families that rule the world, the Medici, the Rothschilds, whatever the names may be, it makes you wonder, who are these specific people that have access to this specific network that even the dark web wouldn't let you get into? This particular network gives you access to actual distribution of global wealth, not like the Forbes list. And furthermore, it gives you access to medical research that was looked at long ago, decades ago, but was never published because it would never be to what? Their benefit, even if it was to ours. I found some of this information on a thread, went down the rabbit hole, and the truth is the global internet was never meant to inform us. It was meant to gather our data. And the fact that I'm just now finding out about this, and at the same time simultaneously I'm watching all of these people come up from underground as if these underground civilizations have not only existed for a long amount of time, probably more so than the people above ground, but have been flourishing, thriving, and having luxury access, blows me away, because it just goes to show we have no idea what this world really consists of. Let me know if you guys are keeping up with this. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you don't know what I'm talking about, save this video, go look into some of that, okay? Per usual, this is my personal opinion, but come back, share your thoughts once you go ahead and do your research. I can't confirm or deny any information. This is all alleged, but definitely implore you to look into it. Like, follow, stay for some more tea. And if you like more interesting topics like this, grab your copy of 50 Forbidden Mysteries. Link is in the bottom.
People getting rich from AI are not the people using AI. And that's the part they're hoping you never figure out. Like, everyone thinks the AI war is OpenAI versus Elon, Claude versus Grok, ChatGPT versus Gemini. That's the distraction. The real war is happening underneath all of them, and almost nobody is looking there. Because while the public is arguing about prompts, the people making billions are buying the infrastructure that determines who gets access to intelligence itself. And if you think that sounds extreme, ask yourself a simple question. Who got rich during the gold rush? The miners or the people selling the shovels? Like, Anthropic just partnered with Broadcom to build custom AI chips. Most people saw that headline and just kept scrolling. Big mistake, because custom chips don't mean better AI. They mean control. Control over compute, control over access, control over the future bottleneck. And every empire in history was built by controlling the bottleneck. Oil, railroads, electricity, the internet. Now, compute. Different century, same pattern. Comment, scroll if you're starting to realize the public is focused on the apps while the money is focused on the infrastructure. But like, here's where this gets uncomfortable. Most people think they're participating in the AI revolution. They're consuming it. That's not the same thing. The consumer always thinks the product is the opportunity. The builder knows the infrastructure is the opportunity. And that's why trillions are moving. Not because AI is fake, because AI is becoming real enough that ownership suddenly matters more than innovation. The question isn't which AI wins. The question is who owns the roads every AI must travel on. Because the moment you figure that out, you stop looking at the future the same way. Comments roll because most people will spend the next 5 years using AI, and a much smaller group will spend the next 5 years owning pieces of the system everyone else depends on. And historically, those groups do not end up in the same place.
AI revolution isn't about technology. What if it's actually a highly coordinated political coup wrapped in algorithms? For years, tech billionaires have been telling us a very specific story. They want us to believe that the rise of AI is something we shouldn't question, something we shouldn't fight. They want to keep us focused on the convenience, the promise. But look just below the surface and a very different picture emerges. In our last part, we exposed the dark enlightenment of Curtis Yarvin, the anti-democratic philosophy quietly infecting Silicon Valley that explicitly states democracy has failed and society should be run like a corporate monarchy. But a philosophy can't seize power on its own. It needs a vehicle to break into our institutions. EAC is that Trojan horse, designed to gut government oversight, dismantle public accountability, and hand control of our public infrastructure over to a handful of tech monopolies. It starts at Stanford in the 1980s. A young Peter Thiel was befriended by Father Arne Panula, the priest who ran Opus Dei's recruiting center on campus. Opus Dei is a secretive Catholic organization accused of cult-like practices that recruits wealthy, powerful men at elite universities to advance hard-right causes. Thiel and Panula remained close friends for 40 years. Panula went on to run the Catholic Information Center, Opus Dei's K Street lobbying operation in D.C., just 2 blocks from the White House. It's where Washington's power brokers come to pray, and it's where Peter Thiel's Silicon Valley money and Leonard Leo's dark money machine found their common ground. Leonard Leo sat on the board, the same Leonard Leo who controls over $1 billion in dark money and built the courts that will decide AI regulation. In 2008, Peter Thiel helped architect the Teneo network, a coordinated alliance of conservative CEOs, bankers, politicians, and media figures. Leonard Leo now chairs it. ProPublica obtained leaked video and described Leo's vision as a federalist society for everything. In Leo's own words, their goal is to crush liberal dominance. Let's be plain. When you analyze how this network functions to systematically dismantle institutional oversight, it's clear they mean to crush democracy itself. Its membership reads like a who's who of everyone currently dismantling democratic oversight of AI. In 2021, Thiel invested in Rumble alongside J.D. Vance. In 2023, David Sachs, Trump's own AI advisor, joined Rumble's board. Rumble is the movement's information backbone. They didn't stumble into this power. They coordinated for it. Now they're using AI to make that control permanent. In Part 9, we reveal how they manufactured the political vessel to carry this agenda to the White House. Follow so you don't miss it.
I'm getting so many comments to stop using AI. AI was discovered before 1950s, before internet came out. It's part, it belongs together. We use internet as a memory of humans where we are uploading everything. And AI is learning from internet, from us humans.
The internet and AI grew alongside each other. AI research actually goes back to the 1950s, decades before the modern internet became public. Researchers like Alan Turing and John McCarthy were already exploring machine intelligence long before websites, social media, or smartphones existed. What's interesting is that AI remained relatively weak for decades because it lacked 3 things: enough data, enough computing power, and enough connectivity. The internet changed all 3. The internet became humanity's external memory. Every search, article, image, conversation, video, purchase, and social interaction created a growing archive of human behavior. AI became possible at scale because there was suddenly an ocean of information to learn patterns from. You could say the internet was the nervous system, and modern AI became the pattern recognition layer built on top of it. They noticed that the internet appears first, then social media, then smartphones, then recommendation algorithms, then generative AI. It looks less like separate inventions and more like stages of one unfolding process. Not necessarily a conspiracy, but a progression. First, humanity digitized information. Then humanity digitized communication. Then humanity digitized attention. Now humanity is digitizing cognition itself. That's why some people feel uneasy. Search engines helped you find information. Social media shaped what information you saw. AI increasingly participates in how information is interpreted. The internet resembles a collective memory field, while AI resembles a mirror reflecting the patterns already contained within that field. The quality of the reflection depends on the quality of the data, just as a mirror reflects whatever stands before it.
I wouldn't be worried about AI. I would be worried about people that are handling, they are in charge of AI. That's the problem, not the AI. AI is the tool. We have to worry about those psychopaths and sociopaths, narcissists that are in charge of AI. That's the threat, not AI itself.
The AI bubble does not pop because AI fails. It pops because intelligence becomes too cheap, and most people are looking at the wrong signal. They're all asking, is AI real? Wrong question. The internet was real. People still got destroyed in 2000. The real question is, who is pricing the future like they already own it? Like, SpaceX is reportedly targeting a $1.75 trillion IPO. Anthropic just raised $65 billion at a $965 billion valuation. Alphabet reported $37.7 billion in other income, mostly from unrealized gains on private equity securities. Amazon reported $16.8 billion in pre-tax gains tied to Anthropic, and everyone is calling this innovation. But the field is showing something else. A tech giant invests in an AI company, and that AI company spends money on cloud. The cloud company books revenue. The AI company raises at a higher valuation. The investor marks up the stake. Now, the same story shows up as revenue, profit, backlog, valuation, and market momentum. That is not fake. That is fucking worse, bro. Because real things create the biggest fucking bubbles. The dot-com bubble was not built on the internet being fake. It was built on everyone pricing the internet like the winners were already chosen. Now, AI is running the same pattern. And here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. China does not need to crash the US market by attacking it. They can crash the narrative by making intelligence abundant. Open source models, cheaper models, free models, good enough models. Models businesses can run without paying premium rates to closed US platforms. That breaks the scarcity spell. Because the US AI trade is priced like intelligence stays expensive, centralized, and controlled. But if intelligence becomes a utility, the monopoly story collapses. And when the story collapses, the market reprices. This is why your 401k might not be as diversified as you think. Your index fund, your tech ETF, your retirement account, your growth fund, they may all be holding the same AI concentration, wearing different names, different costumes. So the question is not, will AI change the world? It will. The question is, are you positioned to use AI, or are you being used as exit liquidity for the AI story? Because the next timeline belongs to the people who have cash flow, skills, audience, liquidity, and systems, not the people emotionally attached to the final phase of a bubble. Comment scroll if you want your scroll scan and access to the protocols on WAP for how to navigate this timeline. Because this is not about fear. This is about knowing your coordinates before the market forces everyone else to find theirs.
Baby, not the world's biggest scammers got scammiana. Happy Friday, TGIF. Y'all know what time it is. Let's roll it on in and rain it on in. I know I took Thursday off, but girl, I needed that, okay? I feel so refreshed. I feel like you know what I'm saying? Period. Before we go to the gym and before we get into the real geopolitics of the kikis, I want to get into some domestic tea because this is fucking hilarious. Not the world's biggest scammers getting scammiana the way that they be scamming in these streets. The FBI has just now revealed the faces behind the alleged billion-dollar fraud schemes. Let's dig a little deeper. Looking into these billion-dollar fraud schemes, it's pretty clear that a lot of these are PPP loan fraud schemes, and it's given very much like I schemed and scammed out of your coin, out of your dollar. You know what I mean? It's giving very much during who was this presidential term? Joe Biden's president. Well, honestly, it was like literally 2019 into 2021 when all of the COVID stuff was going down. So for it to be 2020 or like some of them are even during Donald Trump's term. So it's given, this is PP. I would assume, it's safe to assume that these are PPP loan scams or scams that was taking place around the pandemic. And they was out here living. Bitches was out here living. Now, my thing is why you releasing it to the public? What the fuck that's going to do for us? Donald Trump is quite literally scamming the shit out of the White House, and his whole family is scamming everything. Everybody a part of quite literally the entire Trump administration has been scamming the fuck out of the American people, and Israel's been scamming the fuck out of our taxes. Why should we give a fuck? You know what I mean? I feel like before they quite literally relied on the American people being the ones to like help them solve these cases and these crimes. And in my eyes, I say I don't give a fuck. It's $4 billion that I never had before. It's $4 million that I'm not gonna get back because they got it, they spent it. It's back in the economy. As far as I'm concerned, they helping push the economy and keep the economy flourishing. If it's okay for the president to scam and scheme, it's okay for them to scam and scheme. You're not gonna see me. If I catch y'all on the streets, I ain't saying shit. I ain't seen nothing. Sorry to that man. I ain't seen Nathan. I ain't seen nothing. The president's quite literally scamming the fuck out of everybody. They ran up into looking for the Constitution. They ran up into our Social Security information. They ran into our Department of Education personal information. They scamming and scheming everybody. I don't give a fuck. I'm not sure. I decided to talk about this real quick because I'm not sure why they think that we give a fuck. Y'all can give a fuck, but I don't give a fuck. Y'all, they doing the exact same shit. Like, it's given very much you're mad that they scammed better than you. And they did it more efficiently and in record time. That's what it's giving. It's giving y'all hating. Y'all mad, y'all hating. Who am I? Like, who am I to stop a scammer from scamming when the president is scamming himself? I'm not going to be participating in y'all scamming because that's a very dangerous life to be living. You know what I'm saying? Be a criminal, a career criminal. That's a rough life to live. Okay, I done seen all the work, and you gotta put in a lot of work to do these kind of scams and schemes. Do you hear me? Baby, I'm a Leo. I don't get down like that. I'm too lazy. I don't like lying because a lie don't ever sound right, and then you gotta keep up with the lie. That's exhausting. Like, it's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I can't. And I don't be scared of nobody, so like, what I gotta lie for? Like, I would rather just tell you the truth. And then I don't look good in orange. These people put in a lot of work just as much, if not a lot of work, just as much work as the president. Sorry, somebody outside my window and he look kind of crazy. If not more work than the president, just as much work as the president is doing to scam and scheme and scheme and scam. So it's giving very much X somebody else to do it. Why you keep telling us? What y'all telling us for? Ain't that literally what y'all get paid to do? Go find the people that's scheming and scamming y'all? All right then, stop reaching out to us because we don't know nothing about nothing. And if you call yourself trying to be the hero, I urge you to remember what happened to the lady that turned in Luigi. Oh, yeah. Mind your business. Don't get involved. Mind your business. Go on about your day. Go on about your life. Mind your motherfucking business. And I urge you to also remember what Israel literally is doing to your country right now. They're scamming and scheming your country with the okay from your president. All right then. Mind your business. Anyway, stay tuned because there's a lot more news to go.
so many South Asian doctors and engineers because white people constructed the whole concept. British colonial rule reshaped education in South Asia to create an English-educated class useful to their empire. This made medicine, engineering, and civil service some of the clearest routes to status and mobility. After independence, these institutions stayed. But the developing economies didn't have satisfactory opportunities for these fresh graduates being produced at mass. In 1965, the US immigration law changed and opened pathways for highly skilled professionals. Because of colonialism, countries like India had lots of English-speaking doctors and engineers with qualifications the West could easily recognize. This then created the model minority myth, a stereotype used to erase structural racism and comparing Asian Americans to Black Americans. So if you think about it, white people built the pipeline, then used people who walked through it to avoid accountability, and then also turned communities against each other.
Broken out in Albania because Jared Ratboy Weasel Kushner and his fake-ass, dumbass wife Ivanka said they discovered an island and are going to try to colonize it.
Massive in scale.
I think that's an understatement. Can you explain?
Yes, it is. It is.
There's no
very...
power on this island. You're building everything from scratch.
No shit, she had to build it from scratch because it's a fucking protected land for animals and other species.
Unbelievable, beautiful 1,400 hectare private island in the middle of the Mediterranean. We were on a friend's boat and we stopped for a swim. Effectively, that's how we found it. We swam to the islands. We went on a hike, barefoot all the way up to the top.
Bitch, you are not Magellan. This island has been there forever. We discovered, we hiked, we barefoot. I mean, this is between Albania and fucking Italy. Everybody knows about this island that is in any type of vicinity of this area. We discovered, like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Albanian people start to catch wind of what's going on and they begin to protest. They're met with violence by Ratboy Weasel Kushner's security team. Now hell has really broken loose in Albania. Like, nah, hold on, shut this shit down. Who the fuck? While all this is happening, this sleazeball fuck is supposedly the one that's leading the talks with Iran. Hello? Yeah, I know. Nobody voted for this fucking piece of shit. Now, you may question, how did he get all this money? Well, he is Epstein 2.0. That's according to the files. Yes, word for word. He's the one that was pulling all the strings. That goes back to Trump's first term. Then he leaves the government. Next thing you know, cozies up to the Saudis and everybody from the Middle East that we're supposed to hate. And he gets billions and billions of fucking dollars from them. He starts his own VC firm. And now he's been moving, grooving, vibing, sliding on some vociferous fucking timing. World takeover type shit. And this bitch along for the ride. And son-in-law, but really the operator. Not king, I call him Prince. BB the Bomber is the actual king over there. But this is fucked. Because, you know, a normal person would see the entire country protesting and be like, oh, my bad, my fault. I didn't know y'all felt this way about that land and that island. We can find somewhere else. But no, they're doubling down on their luxury resort. It's like, you guys fucking suck. No pulse on humanity. He already asked for the prime minister's resignation and protesting directly at his motherfucker's crib. I was like, oh shit. Americans, we really don't be on shit. We have a president that's accused of rape and pedophilia, and somehow we just letting that shit rock. That's not a good look. Shout out to the Albanians. I was not familiar with y'all game.
strike on Kuwait last night was a lot more destructive than we thought. This is the Salem Air Base in Kuwait. If you look at that black dot, this is an aircraft hangar where they store aircraft, and it is fully blacked out and destroyed as of this morning. At this base is where the Americans keep the Globe Master plane, which costs $340 million. And I would assume they would keep it at the biggest hangar they have, which is now destroyed. Also destroyed was the Kuwait International Airport, this terminal sustaining major damage. American air defenses failed to shoot down the missiles and drones at the airport and at the air base, where the most expensive air defenses will be located, and they all completely failed. I want to point out that the American military said the truth. All Iranian attacks on American forces failed. I just showed you satellite imagery, so anything the US says at this point, just throw it away. It looks like the Iranians fired around 50 missiles and drones at Kuwait in total. The Americans intercepted some missiles. Some American interceptor missiles actually fell back down. Comment your thoughts, follow for more.
Mushtaba Khamenei, the leader of Iran, he lost his father, he lost his wife, he lost his sister, and he lost his son in an Israeli airstrike led by the USA, and he almost lost his life too. He's seriously wounded in the middle of peace negotiations with the same people who stabbed him in the back and deleted half of his family. Ask yourself this: how would you feel like if you were in his shoes? Would you talk? Would you forgive? If someone unalived my father, I would never forgive that, even less so my child. Maybe, Bismillah, Allah was merciful to Mushtaba Khamenei and granted him a victory over Firaun, just for the world to have a little bit of justice.
Just about 48 hours away from MSG literally transforming into the Roman Colosseum. Because come Monday night, we are about to witness the loudest sporting event in American history. And if you are lucky enough to be inside this arena, it is going to feel like you time traveled back to 80 AD and are watching a gladiator fight IRL. These were the streets outside MSG last night when the team wasn't even playing in the city. And this was last night in the Ops Arena, over 1,600 miles away from the Mecca. So what do you think the Garden is gonna look like with the Knicks coming home up 2-0, hosting their first finals game in 27 years? We should literally be preparing for anarchy because these fans have waited too long for this. So if you are lucky enough to be in that arena on Monday night, it will be unlike anything we've ever seen in American sports. So buckle up, because this is gonna be cinema. And by the way, if you like elite sports content like this, make sure you're following.
They said the cheapest ticket was $9,000, I think. That's gonna be the most expensive finals game in NBA finals history on Monday. You know what I mean? Mom Donnie, Donald Trump, every single rapper that you could think of in New York. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna go crazy. Yeah, so that hype, feed them cake, right? This is all Roman entertainment. This is all feed them cake. This is all bread and circus at the end of the day. You feel me? We do have to be mindful of that. Yeah, that is true. However, energy is energy. Energy is energy, and energy never really ever dies, and energy reappears, in cycles and whatnot, even through bread and circus. But it is what it is. Do something with the energy that's being built up, turn it into something, and then you'll be able to benefit on it rather than somebody benefiting on you, But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to end our show for the night. We're going to land our plane right here, and we will tap in with you for a follow-up. Sacrilegious Sundays, Melanin Mondays. You dig? Peace, love, and light to the family out there. Y'all stay dangerous, and we will tap back in. Peace.
can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sing 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual. Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums, like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch stores type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom.